Aztalan State Park is about midway between Milwaukee and Madison, a short drive off of Interstate 94. The name Aztalan is odd and was assigned to this Native American site in the 19th century because it was identified as the ancestral home of the Aztecs, who were thought to have migrated from the north. As you can see, this site is now surrounded by the standard Wisconsin rural landscape. An important early witness to Aztalan is Increase Lapham, who visited and mapped this site in the mid-19th century. His observations were published in his book, The Antiquities of Wisconsin. This work will help us make sense of what we see today. One of the most notable features of the site is the stockade, which partially surrounds it. At first, it is somewhat bewildering to look at this row of poles. It would not do much good for defense, as my buddy dramatically shows, stealing easily into the fort. When Lapham visited, there was still visible an earthen enclosure. Back in the 12th century, when Aztalan flourished, posts such as these would have been woven with willow branches and covered with a clay mixture. In other words, it would have actually been a wall and not a row of posts. And Lapham could still see this wall in the 19th century. A wide area was enclosed by this stockade, 15 acres worth of land. At the northwest and southwest corners of the site were two large mounds. Lapham supposed that this must have been a site like Mecca, drawing pilgrims from great distances in all directions. As we will learn, this is not the current belief. Let's make a little detour. One reason to visit Native American sites is to enjoy the calm that pervades them. My buddy and I followed a trail right through this densely overgrown area close to the bank of the Crawfish River, which would have been the eastern border of the site. To our surprise, it was exactly here that was the main dwelling area. Archaeologists have found traces of small homes. It is estimated that about 350 people occupied this riverside area. The Crawfish River is not exactly one of those rivers with crystal clear water. It flows brown with mud. The river would have been an important source of food, providing both fish and mussels. When the water is low, it's possible to glimpse a triangular fish trap stretching across the bed of the river. Now let's come back to the larger question. Who were these people? What was Aztalan? From the pottery and mound architecture, it's possible to connect this site to the Mississippian culture that flourished farther to the south. Aztalan could then be understood as a northern extension to that culture, perhaps even a trading outpost. This terraced mound at the northwest corner functioned as a mausoleum where the elite of this outpost were buried. The burnt bones of 10 individuals laid side by side were found here. The form of the mound was restored about 50 years ago to match the way it looked to Lapham, who provides a relief view of the mound as he saw it. Now let's take another look at the central plaza, this time viewed from atop the terraced mound. It's a challenge to imagine the ceremonial and civic life that could have taken place here. Notice how flat that large mown area looks. Now let's take a look at Lapham's map of the area, published in 1855. It was not simply a flat surface, but one that was complex and layered. Some of the earthen mounds visible on this map would have predated Aztalan, making it likely that the people who founded Aztalan took over an already sacred site. Here's the park map for visitors today, reflecting a much simpler and flatter site. The picnic area is clearly marked, and in clear white boxes are shown the areas where visitors can allow their pets to run. The small town of Fort Atkinson is about 10 minutes away from Aztalan. It is presented in our guidebook as an all-American small town. We happen to come through in the middle of some kind of biker festival, and it is clear from these posters that there is often something going on in town. These bikers are images of American freedom and independence. And I admit to having a soft spot for the open road, but this is hardly the world that was known to the Native Americans, nor would they have recognized the numerous tracts of new houses. Just excuse my buddy's singing.
Not a very attractive development, if you ask me.
That's the point, though.
That's the point?
Yeah.
Like, to film the ugly Americana?
Yeah.
Oh, there was some nice stuff, too. Why don't you get the nice stuff?